Hello and welcome to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today's show is Schmigadoon, the musical, playing at the Nederlander Theatre on Broadway. Now, before I jump into this funny, silly musical, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me grow my channel, helps me see more shows, and helps me get press tickets to see shows like Schmigadoon. All right, what did I know about this show going in? I had actually seen the first two episodes of the TV show that this is based on or adapted from on Apple TV. I didn't watch the whole season. I enjoyed the first two episodes, but it wasn't really my bag. But I knew going into this that this show is a parody of 1940s, 1950s golden age musicals. And I knew that it was going to be silly and light and fun. And that is exactly what it is. So how did this show come to be? Well, the TV show debuted on Apple TV in 2021, and then it was renewed for a second season called Chicago. There was a third season that was in plan, but it got canceled while it was in production. So I'm curious how much they filmed. This was created by Cinco Paul and Ken Daurio. Cinco Paul adapted the series for the stage. He's credited with book, music, and lyrics. One-man band here. Or should I say five-man band, because his name is Cinco. This stage version contains a lot of the songs from the television series as well as some new songs. The show had its world premiere at the Eisenhower Theatre at the Kennedy Center, and it ran for the month of January in 2025. That production was directed by Christopher Gattelli, who also choreographed the show, who you may know from Newsies fame as well as more recently Death Becomes Her, which is currently playing on Broadway. The show opens tonight, April 20th, and runs through September 6th for a limited run. But my guess is it will probably be extended if it does well, and I'm hoping it does. It's produced by none other than Lorne Michaels of Saturday Night Live fame. So what is Schmigadoon about? Well, specifically put, it is a parody of Golden Age musicals, specifically four musicals: Oklahoma, Carousel, Sound of Music, and The Music Man. Three of those were Rodgers and Hammerstein because they dominated the era of golden musicals. It also musically pulls from some of Frank Lesser's catalog, shows like Guys and Dolls and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And there are some other shows that are referenced throughout. Alex Brightman plays Josh Skinner, and Sara Chase plays Melissa Gimble, a couple who have been together for several years, and they find that their relationship is being strained, and they go on a couples retreat in the woods. They get lost, they cross a footbridge, and they end up in the magical town of Schmigadoon, where everything is a musical. Melissa loves musical, Josh hates them. And they learn from a little leprechaun that in order to leave the town of Schmigadoon, they have to find their true love. Josh and Melissa try to cross the bridge, are unable to, and they decide that clearly they were not meant for each other. They break up, and they try to find true love among the members of this crazy little town. The plot is really pulled from these classic four musicals, and the songs are parodies, but a lot of them are very close to the songs that they're referencing. If you know these four shows, you will hear the song and immediately go, oh, that's Oklahoma, or that's I'm a Bad, Bad Man, or The Sadder But Wiser Girl for Me, from these shows. Although Bad, Bad Man is from Annie Get Your Gun. Anyhow. So like with most musicals, we really know how this show is going to end. I think we even more so know, I knew exactly the trajectory we were going on. I knew exactly how it's going to end. But that didn't diminish my ability to enjoy the ride. So let's talk about some things that worked and didn't work. First of all, the positives. The show is funny. I was laughing a lot. The jokes in the book are really funny. Some of them were surprising. The parodies are very funny. Cinco Paul does something very smart, and that these songs are all very short. We don't get songs that are like the length of the songs from the Rodgers and Hammerstein's catalog. Like a song like Soliloquy is like 10 minutes long. It's referenced here, but the longest song is probably 3-4 minutes, but most of these songs are short, which I think is very smart because they're kind of one-joke songs. And they do function to move the plot forward in the sense that they're based on songs that move the plot forward. But if you know these shows, we know exactly where we're going. So it's good that he gets through these quickly. The performances across the board are really good. I want to give a shout out. Sara Chase is really great. And Gasteyer as the preacher's wife is hilarious. Anne Harada is returning. She's the only cast member who is also in the Apple TV show, and she's playing the same role of Florence Menlove, who is the wife of the mayor Menlove. His last name really gives you a clue as to where his true affections lie. As Mayor Menlove, we have Brad Oscar, and as Reverend Layton, we have Maulik Pancholy. And I do have to say that Alan Cumming and Fred Armisen played these roles in the Apple TV series, and they left some big shoes to fill that I'm not quite sure if Brad Oscar and Maulik Pancholy are quite filling, but they were still quite good. My biggest shout out is to McKenzie Kurtz, who plays Betsy, who's essentially Ado Annie from Oklahoma. She is having the time of her life. She is big. She is chewing the scenery with those big white teeth. She is hilarious in this. I absolutely adore her. I see a Tony nomination in her future. She was recently in Heathers, playing the lead Heather, and she was great in that show. This is a different kind of comedic take with this character. I think she is one to watch. Anytime she was on stage, I was having a great time with her. The ensemble deserves a shout out. Every member of this ensemble is a triple threat. They have great dancing, great singing, and great acting. They all have a role to play in this show. If you want to be in a chorus of a musical, this is the show to be in because you will be given lots to do. They are busy. They're working very hard. They've cast people who can do tap, who can do musical theater. There's a dream ballet that requires some ballet technique. There's some high operatic singing that is required. So these are a really strong ensemble that Chris Gattelli has put together, and I love them. They're having a great time, and they are working hard to make that coin. The set design by Scott Pask is perfect for this show. It's kind of cartoonish. It really fits the era. It's bright colors. It plays with depth of field. It's fun to look at. The costume design by Linda Cho is also fantastic. Everything is working in the show. What's great about this show, and credit to Chris Gattelli, everyone is on the same page. Everyone is making the same show. They know exactly what they're doing, and it really pays off. So, the challenge with a show like this is we've got these short parody songs, and the law of diminishing returns does come into play here. I found myself laughing a lot at the beginning of the first act, but then it diminished down. Second act gave me new energy, and I started laughing at the beginning, but then it starts to feel kind of the same with these parody songs. And also, we know exactly where we're going. Also, the structure of the first act is once Josh and Melissa break up and have their rebound, they first go for an Ado Annie type character and a Billy Bigelow type character, who if you know the show they're based on, those are not good choices for long-lasting love because they have endings. One ends in a shotgun wedding and one ends tragically. So those relationships, unsurprisingly, don't work out, and we come back in the second act. Josh and Melissa reconnect for a moment, but then they break up again, and then we repeat it this time with Marion the librarian and a character that reminds us of the father of the Von Trapp family from The Sound of Music, although in this case he's now a doctor. This time there's more of a possibility of them having a lasting relationship since we know those characters end up happily in their shows, but we know really where this show is going and we know how it's going to end, and it does do that. I wanted a little more character development from Josh and Melissa. Character development's not the right word. I wanted to track their relationship because basically they've come to the town of Schmigadoon and they're going to learn something about each other that's going to allow them to come back together. I don't know if I really tracked that change in them. In fact, I feel like Josh is the one that had the bigger change and has a moment of where he is basically able to show his love to Melissa in a way that he wasn't before. But it really just felt like we were going along with this show until it was like, oh, we're at about 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's time to wrap this up. And when that happened, it was like, okay, now we got to bring the couple back together. And I didn't feel like they'd really learned something. It just felt like it was time. But this show is light and fun, so you go along with it. And I personally had a good time. I took with me a friend who's not familiar with musicals, and he really enjoyed it. And he only knew one reference, which is the song Doe a Deer from Sound of Music. He knew that one. But for someone who knows these musicals, these 4 musicals, as well as the Frank Lesser catalog, there is one little problem. When I say don't bore me, don't confuse me, because it pulls me out of the show. But here's another case where I get pulled out of the show because my brain is trying to figure out what song is being parodied. So for me, the songs that most clearly followed, like when Billy Bigelow, or the character's name is Danny Bailey, but when he was singing a song that was clearly based on a song from Carousel, like If I Loved You, or Soliloquy, or from Annie Get Your Gun, I'm a Bad, Bad Man, or Sadder But Wiser Girl from Music Man, when I immediately knew what the reference was, I could then just enjoy the parody. But every so often a song would be pulled in, and this happened with the Frank Lesser songs, which, because they're from shows that don't fit into the world of Oklahoma and Carousel, which is this kind of turn of the century time period, that's when my brain was like, oh, that sounds like Frank Lesser. And then I'm thinking, oh, what is that from? Oh, that's from How to Succeed. And then I've missed half the song, and these are short songs. So you check out for a few seconds and you've missed a lot of the song. So that was a problem that I had, that I got pulled out of the show quite a bit. Whereas my friend did not have that problem, because he did not realize that the plot points and the songs were pulled so directly from these 4 musicals. These parodies are like, you can sing the song that they're based on. The chords progressions are the same. In fact, there's moments where the lyrics are the same. There's moments where the dialogue is probably, if not exactly the same, really close to the original dialogue. It really walks this line of like, are they going to get sued for this? But I think they're protected under the parody law. All right, so let's ask the questions. Was I bored? Not at all. This is silly and fun, and it moves really fast. It's directed really well. It's candy. It looks like candy. It tastes like candy. Was I confused? I got pulled out by trying to figure out what songs were based on, and I felt that the relationship of our 2 leads was I would have liked a little more from it. But that being said, I wasn't really confused by it. And in fact, as silly as it was, and knowing that I knew exactly how it was going to end, and it did not surprise me, I still had a moment where I actually was really touched by that moment that I saw coming a mile away, which was surprising to me. I was like, oh, I actually feel something. So hey, hats off for that. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Schmigadoon is just a fun time. If you want to laugh, and I think you'll enjoy this whether you know the musicals it's referencing or not. It's just campy, silly, fun. I enjoyed it from start to finish. My friend did as well. I would rather watch this 2.5-hour musical than binge watch 6 hours of the Apple TV show. So for me, I was like, great. I don't have to watch the whole show now. I can just get it all in one sitting. Okay, so how did I get tickets? I got a press ticket. And guys, let me tell you, this is the best ticket I've gotten to date. I was in my favorite spot in the theater, the front row of the mezzanine in the center. I love the seat. Thank you so much to Rubenstein Press for giving me this wonderful seat to see this enjoyable show. Although I do have to say, if you sit in the front row of the mezzanine at the Nederlander Theatre, if you are over 6 feet tall, you will not fit. I'm not very tall, but I could barely move my legs. And my friend, who's exactly 6 feet, his knees were pressed against the edge of the mezzanine. But this mezzanine doesn't have a high bar, which is nice, so that you can see over it. Nederlander is only 1,200 seats, so every seat in this theater is quite good. So I would suggest, if you want to go see this on a budget, you can score in-person rush tickets for only $40, and the digital lottery through Broadway Direct is $45. So you have no excuse. Go out and enjoy this silly, fun show, Schmigadoon. Come back, tell me what you thought of it. If you agree, if you disagree, I love hearing your thoughts, and I will see you at the next one. Bye.
Wanna drift away, wanna stay inside the play. Keep me engaged, keep me amused with what's in front of me. 'Cause I don't wanna be bored and confused.